of our time travels. So we have been traveling back in time with a line dance. For those of you who are familiar with line dancing, it's you learn a short sequence, and that short sequence takes you to the next wall, and you repeat it to this wall, and you keep going for the duration of the song. And it's a very popular dance. You can do it with just about any kind of dance style. It's very popular with country and so forth. And we've been traveling back in time, and our goal is to get to the 1800s, so the early 1800s, from 1800 to 1810. We're almost there. This is the 1810s. But before that, I just wanted to share our latest recipe with Encha Matcha, so that if you're a matcha lover and matcha lover, it is the single source from farm to table, and it's 100% USDA organically certified, and it is delicious and comes with like so many interesting flavors. And so our resident cook, poet, and fashion designer behind the camera,
hello,
has made another creation. So I'm going to call this a breakfast cookie because it's made with Encha Matcha. The reishi, am I saying that right? It's reishi mushroom flavor. And I'm going to have you take over the exact recipe while I...
Yes, so it's a standard cutout shortbread recipe, pretty much. I didn't exactly measure things, I just kind of wing it. But not too sweet, and made with the reishi mushroom matcha. So, but I did use a homemade vanilla glaze to give it a hint of sweetness, because you know, you like a little sweet treat with your breakfast cookies.
Butterflies?
Oh yes, they are butterflies, and I added sprinkles just for cuteness, yes. Mini and regular size.
I'd like to keep eating these, but we have to do our lunch. So if you are interested in getting your own Encha Matcha, the link is down in the description. If you want to learn more about these cookies or anything that Ari does, she does many creative works. She's also been both on art and fashion. Definitely check her out for creative recipes and fashion tips, art, poetry, and many other things.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram and YouTube, but for TikTok, the link for the Encha Matcha will be in our bio. And then for YouTube, it's in the description.
All right, so we're just going to dive right in. You normally would do a short warm-up with music, but since we are so late getting started because of all the improvised costuming, we're just going to go right into the dance, but quick historical note as far as dress goes, as fashion goes, because that very much affected, of course, the style of dancing and the etiquette of the times. So this was during the Regency period, when you might recognize from Jane Austen, when she wrote her books during around this time. There's a lot of romance novels that are placed in this period. And the dress style was they were trying to kind of emulate the ancient Romans, so they would kind of have more free-flowing dresses that were cut just below the bust line. The shoes were flat, there was no right and left until you wore them. And hairstyles were also trying to mimic kind of the Roman upsweeps. And during this time, if you were fortunate enough to come from a family of means, you would have been taught to dance at home, and then when you were out, usually at 17, 18, you would have been brought to parties and paraded around to find a husband. So you needed to be able to dance and dance under pressure, and you also needed to carry yourself as well as you could, because that was really your only opportunity to meet people. It was very difficult otherwise because you were always chaperoned if you were an idiot. So if you were, well, you had a little more freedom, and you also had time to do other things before you got married. But as a woman, as soon as you left your father's house, straight to your husband's house. That was fast. All right, dance styles were also very social. There was a lot of parading, there was a lot of formations, so various people are all going around like promenades, saying hello, walking down lines with their partners. The waltz was becoming popular around this time, although it was kind of a scandalous thing, so as a young lady, it was a little bit risky to be waltzing because you were held then, as you are today, in very close proximity to your partner. You had a physical contact, at least at the hand and at the waist, so that was a little bit dodgy. Hi, Sarah. Hello. And, oh, yeah, so, hi, Ariana. So, as far as your complexion, I have also tried to imitate the very kind of pale, almost consumptive look. So, consumption was another name for tuberculosis at the time, and the idea was to look like porcelain and almost ill, so kind of gaunt and unwell to the point of, but with rosy cheeks, as you would if you were very unfortunately ill with this disease. Was very prevalent at the time, but that was the style. All right, so also with music, I'm trying to choose something that maybe you may recognize, and it's a little bit difficult to dance to, especially one of my old kind of issues came back to haunt me is that when I was dancing professionally, I actually wasn't a counter. I didn't count things. So, and that was okay at the time because I was I was, not always, but I was in my career soloist, dancing lead roles, so you didn't really have to be in sync with other people. So I didn't do very well in group in my early career. So, because you really need to be able to count. Just doing it by listening to music usually doesn't cut it. But I have been counting for the last few years because with salsa and bachata, it's very important to be able to count. But that's very different than something like this piece, which you may recognize from the Barber of Seville. It's the overture. It's a shorter version though, because the overture goes on for like 6 or 7 minutes. That's a long time for a Beatle 9 dance. You may also recognize him from Bugs Bunny, who has an excellent version of this that I advise you to check out if you've not seen. It's very funny. And so I'm going to do the best I can for counting, but feel free to let me know if I'm on or off in the comments. I'm going to do the best I can because also the tempo changes. I'm going to start here. There's a little bit of a introduction, and then putting your weight onto your right foot. We're going to start with the one to the front with our left foot, and then you want to keep your weight totally over that right foot. Nice and stacked on there. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just stop tapping front and back 8 times. So you want to be already over that right leg before you begin to tap. Because and these taps can be small. This is really your dance, you have to make it about you, how you feel comfortable. So if you want to make it small, make smaller taps. I'm going to do 8 of those. And from here, we're going to bring this left leg a little bit forward and shift our weight over it. And we've just been doing quick side steps. So I kind of do them like a duck because I was a ballerina previously, so I'm kind of stepping sideways, but you can also do it as a kind of a shuffle here. And 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 6, and 7, and 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. There was 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Okay. I think it was and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And from there, we're going to step 4 slow steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a quick ones. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to count that again for you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to the next side. That's all we're doing today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down to this side. And left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4 slow steps. 5, 6, and 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. And we're just going to keep going as best we can. Let's say, I'm not very good at counting, so I may mess this up. No, as far as nuances go, if you happen to be wearing a very nice group this morning, you can always use that to pick it up just enough, but you didn't want to pick it up too much because that was very rude back in the day. So you wanted to keep it down for modesty, but you can always use your arms to greet your imaginary friends and acquaintances in the ballroom. And when you're taking your steps, if you want to give a little bit of opposite shoulders going forwards, and then quick steps. And you want to kind of keep your weight towards the balls of your feet. I turn out still kind of habitually because of the ballet, because everything in ballet, you're dancing like a duck. So that's kind of my habit, but this is your dance. So you do it your way. And we're all unique and different. All right, fireflies. Unless there's any questions in the comments, let's do our best and bear with me. Be kind. But you're welcome to repeat it at home and link it in the description. But I would like to, again, finish off with a cookie. So, just to remind you to stop over at Ave Art and Fashion on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And this is Ari's latest creation. I call it a breakfast cookie because it has Encha Matcha in it. If you want to try Encha Matcha, there's a link down in the description. This is the reishi mushroom flavor, so she slightly sweetened it for these cookies and added a little more sweetness, a little drizzle, and They are so amazing. I wish I could share them with you. I almost could because there's a lot of little butterflies. But unfortunately I can't. But if you go on over, you can read more about this recipe, these cookies, and her other food projects, art projects, fashion, poetry, and much more. So my friend flies. Should not have done that. No, just I'm going to wish you. Put these aside so I can go hard. Thank you so much for being here and traveling this road together, supporting each other in this journey. And we'll be back very soon with more dance videos.